Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Remember in elementary school, we play the game Truth or Dare? There's something about that. There's something exciting. And I think that as kids, we really love to play and have fun and we love to risk. And there's more trust. And I just wish I could give all heart-centered entrepreneurs this like magic pill that just made them innocent and pure in the sense of like having this naive wonder and hope. I think we have that some at the start of our business. But after we've been in business for a while, we've been jaded. Maybe there's been a hard experience with a team member or a client or a coach. And there's a little bit more baggage. But today I want to keep things light and fun, but also do a dare for you. So let's pretend like we're playing Truth or Dare. Okay, Truth or Dare. You're going to say dare. Ready? Okay, dare. You pick. Great. I want to dare you to devote yourself to money this year. We celebrate women for getting married, for having kids, for going to college. I think those things are great, right? But it's very patriarchal, very capitalistic. What I want you to do is devote yourself to your financial success, money stability. Like that's what I want you to bet on this year. That's what I want you to risk on. That's what I want you to be brave on. We are so good at doubling down and working hard and sacrificing for everyone and everything else. But this year, I want you to devote yourself to money. I am so obsessed with this phrase that I've been thinking about lately that I'm actually doing a free live workshop on this. So if you're watching this in real time, make sure you register. I'm going to do a ceremony where you can commit to your big cash goals. Like, for example, when I saved $200,000 cash for my dream house, and I really want you to make your commitment to money making and your big money goals, knowing that you can do it without adding extra hours to your work week. I think sometimes we're a little bit hesitant. We're like, I do want to make more money, but I don't want to do it to burning out. I don't want to do it at the expense of my mental health. I don't really want to add a lot of time to my work week, right? And I want to say that that's possible. That's possible for you. Sure, you might have to be a little extra brave, but usually what I find for most women is maybe sometimes you have to add a little bit more hours initially, but not long term, right? I think mostly what the sacrifice is your ego, your maybe a little bit of emotional discomfort, like all things that you can handle and all things that like after you do it, you're like, I'm so badass, right? Like all the things that we tell our kids, we tell the younger generation, like stop worrying so much about like what other people think about you. Stop worrying about these pre-created scripts that the patriarchy and capitalism has created for us, right? So really feel like we have to walk our own talk on this and really be willing to not care about what other people think or say about us. One of my clients in a call this morning was sharing about how scared she was to post about something in front of her friends and family. And I was really like, you don't have to do that in your business, but I really like when clients do, not necessarily because they're going to sign clients that way, but because it's really energetically saying like, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to be embarrassed of. Like I'm a heart-centered entrepreneur doing good things and I'm just going to own it in front of everyone and everything and everybody. So doing this workshop, especially if you've like taken a hiatus or you've been making money on and off, or you're trying to regroup and decide what to do, right? You're a little hesitant, right? Maybe even your funnels and your programs are ready, but you're feeling stalled out, right? Really going into that energy of making a cash flow commitment to your biggest money goals. I am going to do this a little bit different. I'm not going to do it like a traditional webinar. I'm going to do it more like ceremony experiential-ish, because I think this is something as women we have to do in community, right? I think around other women, you may not be personally friends with a lot of ambitious women. right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that. I'm a big fan of like, whether it's your partner or your friends, like not having to like get each other completely, right? For example, like my friend who's a teacher, I'll never fully understand what it's like to be a teacher, right? Like I'm just not in that world, but I can still love her. I can support her, right? Similarly, I feel very supported by my friends, even though they may not know exactly what happens inside my business. They still love me and support me and cheer for me and like my reels that don't make sense. And I so appreciate that, right? But I think there is something really beautiful too about creating friendships too. So not saying you have to like create friendships instead, but creating friendships in addition, women that are in online business, right? Women that do get it, women that understand what it's like to risk, to like, there's a lot of upsides to owning a business, like way more money than a traditional day job, way more flexibility than a traditional day job, right? But there's downsides too. And the main downside is that it's a little lonely, right? A lot of times people quit because they don't want to have a boss or coworkers. And then they're like, oh, I kind of wish I had someone telling me what to do. Oh, I kind of wish that I had friends, right? You really have to create your own stability and structure and friendships. And I really feel like community is just so, so key to some of this work, to being able to say like, yes, I am devoting myself to money with other women who are heart-centered, who are also devoting themselves to money. Because there's this story that money is evil, money is bad, money is wrong, money is greedy. But what I know about heart-centered women is when you have money, and research shows us this, that women who are wealthy are generous, give back, create change in their community. Women with money is a good thing. Good women with good money. And that's you. And so being around other women that are saying, yes, I want to make a lot of money, but I also want to be heart-centered. Yes, I want to sell online, but I also want to be super of service. Hold on for just a second. Okay, I have a sick little one home with me today. I don't remember what I was saying. It's safe for you to be heart-centered. A lot of times my clients are like, oh, I don't know if I should sell to this person because I also care about them. It's possible to do both. It's possible to both sell to someone and serve someone, but also care about them, right? It doesn't have to be this or am I saying it right? But basically, especially you have a heart-centered service that you really believe will benefit people for their business, for their health, for their life. It's a service for you to both can happen. You can make money and you can help people in your business, right? You can make money and you can care. You can make money and you can be a good mom, right? All these things that the world tells us is only one or the other. So really being around other women that are also owning, yes, I want to make a ton of money. I want to have these big cash goals, but I don't want to do it at the expense of my freedom, of my mental health, of my physical health, of the service to my clients, of being affordable and approachable and accessible, of having, accessible resources for people who can't afford it. Whatever it is for you that is important, really owning that you can have both. But at the end of the day, tuning into the truth that one of my favorite ways to say F you to the patriarchy is really making big cash goals that align with my values and doing it without overworking. So for me, buying a house next to my parents really aligned with my values, right? Like buying an international trip this year so we can live internationally for a month really aligns with my values of teaching my kids about other cultures and outside ways of living outside the United States. Being able to pay my VA for her full maternity leave without hesitation last month, right? Like these money allows you to operate instead of from scarcity. It allows you to operate in full alignment with your values because money isn't an object, right? People say money doesn't matter, but the truth is money only doesn't matter when you have it. When you don't have money, then you are having to make scarcity decisions based on money. When you have money, you're able to walk in full accordance of your heart and your values and your desires. And that as a heart-centered woman is something so, so beautiful, right? Like I think about being able to like pay off my dad after my divorce, being able to give back to the domestic violence women's hotline, being able to max out my retirement, like all of those things, like being able to pay legal custody stuff, right? Like all these things cost like $10,000, $15,000. Like these things cost big chunks. And I talk about in my book, Freedom Fund, a lot of times women says like, oh, I don't need money. But then on the other hand, they're like, actually, it would be really nice to be able to put my daughter in ballet lessons or be really nice to, pay off that debt. Like, It's safe for you to say, I need money. There's nothing wrong with you or unheart-centered about you for the fact that we use and need money in our economy to live and work and be. So I'd invite you to attend, but I want you to start here and now and make this small commitment to money devotion. What does this mean? Number one, being willing to be more serious about prioritizing making money in your business, making that the number one priority, making that just like not a nice to have, but a need to have. I've shared this before, but I really believe that like making like $1,000 to $5,000 a month in your business is very challenging. Making $20K a month in your business is very easy. Why? Because in a day job, this isn't true, but in a business, when you scale your business, it starts getting easier because you have structures, you have systems, you have SOPs and templates, you have things that are rinse and repeat. You have things you can batch. You have team members to support you. It starts getting more automated, right? Like kind of like when you go in and work for a company, they already have a job description. You already know what to do. Someone did the job before you who can train you, right? When you are 1 to 5K in business, you really are doing everything for the first time, everything yourself, everything haphazard, everything in the moment. It's not bad to do for a little bit, but eventually you want to get it to a place where you're not burning yourself out. And a lot of my clients that are like right at the 5K mark are like, oh, I don't want to keep growing my business because I'm going to have to work 4 times as hard and be 4 times more exhausting. But the truth is that as you scale your business, it does get easier. As you scale your business, it gets more supportive. And so I really think that making more money is great because it gives you a easier feeling business, but then you're also creating more cash flow so that you can fund the things on your heart, right? So that you can fund the things that matter to you. And so really devoting yourself to a business with higher income goals and trusting yourself that you can handle it. One of my clients is like, I'm scared to have a bigger tax bill, even though I'm like, well, you'll have a bigger tax bill, but you'll have the money to pay for it, right? Like I'm scared to whatever it is, like your business will have more. Sometimes we think like, oh, who I am today and my resources today is going to be the person there. But no, when you are richer, you're going to have more resources and support and accessibility. So devoting yourself to making more money. But I think the other thing is like devoting yourself to your desires that your money is going to fuel. Being able to say like, yes, it is important to me that I pay off this debt. I don't have to tolerate this, right? Not that there's anything wrong with you for having debt. I've had debt. I don't think there's anything like if you have debt or not, you're not like a better or worse human. I don't think we need to have any charge or shame around it. But I think it is safe for you to say like, no, it is important for me that I knock this out, right? Or it is important to me that I max out my retirement. I don't have to tolerate not having that, right? It is important to me to travel. It is important to me to pay for my mom to go on this trip. It is important for me to buy a house. That's a desire of mine, and I'm going to go after it. And I'm going to take my money desires as seriously as the care and the support and the love that I give to everyone else, right? I try to get heart-centered women to give like 5% of the energy they show up for everyone else for themselves. Like just a wee percentage, just a small little percentage, right? Just a little bit more back at you, back at your power, back at your heart. I've shared this before, but in the workout class I teach on the weekend for Bar Fitness, I always tell the ladies, like, I love seeing you working hard for yourself in this room because I know all week long you're showing up for everyone else. And in this hour, you can show up and work hard for your body, for your mental health. And I just think there's something so beautiful about that energy, about devoting yourself to your dangerous financial independence, right? The patriarchy doesn't want financially independent women. The patriarchy wants women that are dependent, right? And I really think that now is a beautiful time in history to recommit yourself to, your business, full-time energy. When I say that, I mean like 20 hours a week, right? But that's still full-time energy and really staying consistent to your money making, even when you've got a lot going on in your personal life. I think that there is something powerful about putting a line in the sand and saying, yes, I get that this will benefit other people too. And it's safe for me to prioritize this, to devote myself to money. So get out your diamond engagement ring and say yes to money. And some of that, like I talked about, is like devoting yourself to making more, but it's also to learning more and being uncomfortable and making money mistakes. I know when I had to like reformat my my business and how I paid taxes, I was like really stuck on like some of the distinctions, even though I had an accountant, like some of it confused me. So I spent a lot of time researching and understanding taxes more and researching retirement accounts, right? You want to upgrade your problems over time. You'll always have problems, right? But you want to have upgraded problems. I was like, okay, I have all this excess money. Which retirement account should I pick? This retirement account or that retirement account? But you can trust yourself to learn and invest your time in money and in wealth and increasing your capacity there. In my program, 3D Entrepreneur, I have a whole module called Wealthy and Worthy. And I'm such a big believer in money mindset and think as when we have a lot of fear around not just having enough money, but having abundant income and believing that having abundant income and abundant wealth will actually make us a better wife, mama, sister, friend, not a worse one. It's safe for you to allow more money to flow into your life and trust that it will make you more of service. I know for me as a coach, the more money I make, the better service I am to my clients because I'm a lot more detached. I'm a lot more stable. I'm a lot more balanced. I'm a lot more present because I'm not worrying about my money. I can really be there and show up for them unattached and fully present. Okay, so I want you to say out loud right now, I am devoting myself to money. I am devoting myself to my money and this relationship this year. This is the most important. I believe in all sorts of self-care, right? Mental health self-care, physical self-care, but I believe financial self-care is one of the most shame-ridden, neglected forms of self-care for women. And I think it is one of the most powerful ones because for me, having financial self-care means I can pay for mental self-care, right? That I can have physical self-care and go to the gym. A lot of times it's like, oh, women need more self-care, but I think we need resources for self-care. And that's why I'm such a big fan of financial self-care. If you want a free chapter of my book, 20K Freedom Fund, make sure to email me with the word book and my team will send you over the first chapter of my book for absolute free. It's my story on how I created 20K in savings, which at that time, it might as well have been $2 million because it seems so impossible to save my first $20,000, like literally impossible. And then from there, once I broke that, it was actually, quote, pretty easy to get to $200,000 cash for my house. But I would say it was definitely harder to get to $20,000 cash savings in my business than it was to get to $200,000, which I know sounds wild, but it's that same idea of starting your business, getting to 5K can be really hard, but often getting to 20K once you release it's hard in other ways. It's hard in the mindset, but strategically and practically, it's actually not that hard to scale up, right? That's why I have the modules on CEO energy and money mindset, because a lot of times, maybe you have to tweak your offer or create a group version of your one-on-one offer or do more reels but it's not you're not doing a whole lot of new things as you scale your business in some ways. So anyway, where was I going with that? I can't remember. Devote yourself to money and free chapter of my book. Also, make sure that you join us for the free live class. If you're joining us in real time, I would love to help you just devote yourself to money in this fresh way, in a light feeling way, in a community feeling way, in a powerful feeling way. You can trust yourself, and I am so, so excited to invite you in. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.